Welcome to Padhaibook classes. In this video, we are going to talk about types of polynomials. Well, if you haven't subscribed to this channel already, subscribe to this channel and share with your friends to get more latest update videos related to education. In the previous series, we have talked about linear equation in two variables. You should watch that series if you haven't already. In this video, we are going to do the introduction on types of polynomials. We all are familiar with algebraic expressions. We have already dealt with them at some point or the other. In this video, we are going to talk more about the polynomial. Now, what is a polynomial? When I say word polynomial, what does it comes to your mind? As we see, a polynomial is an algebraic expression in which variables have non-negative integral exponents only. Now this does not mean polynomial does not mean you do not have to confuse yourself with something like this, that a polynomial is a term which has many terms. That is a different definition. What we here mean is that polynomial is algebraic expressions in which variables have non-negative integral exponents only. For example, if I write some algebraic expression 3x square plus 2x plus 5. Now notice the variables in this equation. X square is the variable, x is the variable, and there is no variable. All the variables have non-negative integral exponents only. Alright, this is called a polynomial. Now suppose if the power of first term becomes 3x to the power 2 by 3. Now the variable has a fractional power. Now this is not accepted in a polynomial. It may be an algebraic expression, but it is not a polynomial. You should be clear with the fundas. You will be able to solve other questions if you are clear with the basics of a chapter. Okay, what is a standard form in a polynomial? Now if I am given some polynomial, suppose 3x cube plus 2x square plus x plus 1. Suppose this is the polynomial that we are given. If we arrange the terms, these are the terms exactly. It has 4 terms, this polynomial. Now if these terms are arranged in decreasing order of the power of their variables. Now for example, x cube is the variable with highest power, then we have x square and x. It is in the decreasing order. If we write like this and not in some random fashion, then it is a standard form. You may be given any polynomial, it may not be in the standard form. You can convert it into standard form if we are required to find the degree of the polynomial. Now what is the degree of the polynomial? Degree of the polynomial is very easy. You just find the variable with the highest power, and that highest power is the degree of the polynomial. Now in this equation we can easily say that degree is equals to 3. Good. All right. Now as we are getting more familiar with polynomials, this is the first video on the video. We'll be making more video lectures on this topic, so do subscribe to this. In the future video, we're going to talk more about the solution of the polynomial, but let's discuss about some of the types of the polynomial that we usually encounter. The first type that we encounter is a constant polynomial. What is a constant polynomial? Usually how we represent any random polynomial in variable x like this. This is a notation that you should know. P is some polynomial in variable x. This is how we represent polynomial. This is the notation of polynomial in variable x. Now suppose if we are given some polynomial, let's say 7. Now 7 itself we all know is a constant number, and as we can see, there is no variable in front of it. This does not mean it does not have any variable in front of it. It means there is a variable. We can say it has x to the power 0. Now we know that x to the power 0 is, what is x to the power 0? Is 1. Hence this number we directly write as 7. This means there is a variable, it's just that we choose not to show it all the time. So in this case, if we have a constant polynomial and it has only one term, what could be the degree of this polynomial? I told you the degree is to write the polynomial in the standard form. It is already in the standard form because there is only one term. Then we write degree, and the degree is the highest power exponent of the highest variable term 0. Now that is the highest variable term is 0 only, so hence the degree of the constant polynomial is 0. Let's take another example of a polynomial. Suppose we are given a polynomial. Now this time this is 7x plus 3. Now as we can see, there are two terms in this polynomial and it is already in the standard form. The highest power of the variable here is 1. When we say 7x, it means 7 to the power x, hence the degree is 1. Degree we can say is 1. Now this is called the linear polynomial. A linear polynomial can also be written in the standard form like this: ax plus b. This is the standard form of the linear polynomial, where obviously a cannot be equal to 0, because if it becomes 0, then it is no longer a linear polynomial. Okay, we'll obviously be talking about more about them, but this video is just to get you the gist of the everything that we are going to learn. Okay, I'm just, as you can see, I'm struggling to erase it. Fine. The next is quadratic polynomial. A quadratic polynomial is of degree 2. Now, as you have seen a lot of quadratic equations, let's say 2x square plus 3x plus 1. This is a quadratic polynomial because it's in the standard form. It has the degree 2, as you can see. Variable, highest power of the variable is 2. Now, the standard form of the quadratic polynomial can be written as ax square plus bx plus c is equals to 0, where a is not equal to 0. Obviously, we will be talking about quadratic polynomials more in the individual chapter quadratic equations, but for now on it is enough to know that this is the standard form of quadratic polynomials and the degree is 2. All right. Okay, let's move on. Let's talk about cubic polynomial. What is a cubic polynomial? As we can see, it's a polynomial of 3 degree. Suppose we are given an equation 70x cube minus 5. Suppose this is the polynomial that we are given. Now this is a cubic polynomial because it is written in the standard form and the highest power of the variable is 3 only, as we can see. There are no other terms. Then minus 5 constant term, the highest power is 3. So degree of the cubic polynomial is 3. Similarly, we can talk about biquadratic polynomials. Biquadratic polynomial is a polynomial of degree 4. Let's take a very good example. 8x4 plus 7x cube minus 6x plus 1. Now this is an example of biquadratic polynomial because the degree here is 4. It is, as long as you understand the concept of standard form, degree, you will be good to know, it will be very easy for you to understand these constant, linear, quadratic, cubic and biquadratic polynomials. All right. Now we are we're going to talk about some other things in this polynomial that you need to know. The next topic that we should need to know, as we can see, is value of a polynomial. Now I already told you. Suppose if there is a polynomial given f of x. Suppose this is a polynomial. We can represent polynomial however we like. It can be p of x, it can be f of x, it can be g of x. It does not matter as long as you write it in the correct way. Now the term in the brackets signify that the variable used here will be x. It is a single variable polynomial. So what do we do is, suppose we can see if fx is a polynomial and a is any real number, then the real number obtained by replacing x by a at x is equal to a is denoted by f of a. So what do? Is we replace x with a. That is called the value of polynomial. Suppose let's understand this concept. As you can see on the screen, I don't have to write this again, as you can see this from here. We'll understand this concept with an example. Suppose we are given a polynomial f of x 3x square plus let's take 2x plus 1. All right. Suppose this is the polynomial we are given, and we are supposed to find the value of the polynomial at x is equals to 2. So how do we find that? We substitute the value of 2 in the x equation. That is the value of the polynomial. All right, the value of f of 2 is 17. It can be different for the different values of x. We can calculate this. We can find more values. It does not matter as long as you understand the value of a polynomial. It is the value of the polynomial at particular point. All right. All right. Let's come to the last topic of this video. That is zero of a polynomial. What is a zero of a polynomial? As we can see, a real number is a zero of a polynomial if and only if f of a is equals to 0. Now, let's take an example, x square minus 9x plus 20. Suppose we are given a polynomial like this, f of x is equal to x square minus 9x is equal to 20. What we can do is, we can try middle term splitting here. Let's see what happens. Now we were given this polynomial x square minus 9x plus 20. When we factorize this by middle term splitting, we got x minus 4 is into, this is multiply sign, and to x minus 5. This is the value of the polynomial that we get. Now how do we, now this value we have to find where the function becomes 0, where the polynomial becomes 0. So fx should equal to 0. Where does it actually become 0? When the value of x is either 4 or the value of x is either 5. Because if either of these values become 0, then the fx value will become 0. All right. This much is enough for the first video. I hope you liked the video. Please do comment, subscribe and share with your friends. All right.